Before we begin this season, we need to recap what we did last year.
So yes, last year was the debut of the picks. We do 5 picks every week, and if you were betting marbles, peanuts, trading cards, anything you wanted against Ken's picks here, you would have made any of those marbles, trading cards, peanuts, or money. Ken was 53-44-1 last year, including the playoffs. He was 45-39-1 in the regular season. That is a money-making, that is profit, baby. You printed money last week if you followed Ken's picks. You had one 0-5 week. You had one 5-0 week. I think they separated each other by like 2 weeks. I think they were very close together when that happened.
And didn't the 5-0 happen first, and I got a little too big for my britches, and then had the 0-5?
Sure did. Sure did. So, but I also hit a parlay when you did that 5-0. So I am eternally grateful for you, Ken, because I made some good. Was able to buy a lot of diapers that week. So you're 53, 54, 44 and 1, 53, 44 and 1 for your career. And so we start a new season here tonight, Ken, with the Philadelphia Eagles kicking off against the Cowboys. No pick for tonight's game. It's kind of like when you watch Game Day, like Herb Street doesn't pick the game because he's calling the game tonight. We're watching the game tonight. No pick on that. It's happening too soon. Okay. We have 5 picks, including your Miami Dolphins. And we will start in Brazil.
That's right. We are going to the Friday night game, Kansas City, San Diego. What do you got, Steve? What am I picking here?
So, Ken, for those who are new to the picks at home, here in week 1, what we see here is the Kansas City Chiefs are playing at the Los Angeles Chargers. Technically, the Chargers are the home team. However, this game is in Brazil, and the Chargers, while they are the home team, they are a 3-point underdog. The Chargers are +3. That means that the Chiefs are favored to win. So, Ken, if you want to take the Chiefs, you got to give up those 3 points.
Got to give up those 3 points, huh? Look, man.
The Chiefs are coming off a Super Bowl loss, Super Bowl hangover is possible. Chargers are in year 2 of the Harbaugh era. There's a lot of implications. There's a lot of excitement in this game. And Ken, by the way, teams that have won the game in Brazil are undefeated in the Super Bowl.
And that is why I cannot pick San Diego. Or excuse me, LA. See, my heart is still in San Diego, the Chargers. San Diego Superchargers, go, go, go. I don't think the Chargers are getting to the Super Bowl this year. I like Harbaugh as a coach. But I just can't get behind it. You know what I mean, Steve? I just can't get behind them as a titan in the league, if that makes any sense. They might
have
get there.
Titans in the league, and they're in the AFC South, so
But you know what I mean? Like I don't see them. They might get there every once in a while,
right?
Like they did in '94. Stan Humphries leading them. I just don't buy into them ever in the overall way. And that stat you just said, winner of this game in Brazil is Brazil.
The Brazil game, yep.
That's the magic?
Yep. Well, there's only been one, and the Eagles won it last year, and they won the Super Bowl. So.
Oh, you just won? Okay. All right. Yeah. By the way, Steve's doing this while the Eagles are presenting the trophies and everything.
Yes. I've got it all on right here. Yeah, no, it's all part of,
All right. I'm going Kansas City. Kansas City.
Kansas City. Got it. Kansas City. No surprise there for game 1. All right, let's go to game number 2.
All right, we are going to Pittsburgh and New York. The Jets, Jets, Jets.
This is a fun week 1 matchup. We have the Aaron Rodgers Bowl Part 2 with Aaron Rodgers going to his home team from last year. Rodgers is the new quarterback for the Steelers. Not a whole lot of confidence in the Jets being home underdogs at 2.5 in the opening game of the season. To be fair, they are the Jets. I believe Justin Fields is now their starting quarterback. There's a lot of questions in New York, a lot of questions in Pittsburgh too, but people tend to think with Tomlin and the Steelers, they at least have their shit together in the ways that the Jets haven't in about 50 years.
Yeah, and Jeff Pearlman just did a great video on his YouTube channel, Pressbox Chronicles. He's a lifelong Jets fan by accident, and he talked about the pain of that. Look, we talked to Jared the Dark Jedi on the show last week, a lifelong Pittsburgher, a Yinzer, finally getting into sports, and then his team has Aaron Rodgers, which is a conflict morally for many people. I know a lot of other Steeler fans, even if they don't have the conflict morally as much as others do, they have the conflict football-y, where they're just like, I can't believe I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. Okay. And I think I'm in that too. I do like the Steelers. I'm taking them here. The Jets, even though Justin Fields did run for an 82-yard touchdown on me in Madden with 11 of my Dolphins missing him like a Keystone Cop clip. I'm taking Pittsburgh here.
Okay, taking the Steelers the road. So it's technically only one road team, but really two road teams because for whatever reason, Kansas City is designated as the away team in Brazil. So game number 3.
Game number 3. This is perhaps the most marquee matchup of the weekend, wouldn't you say? Baltimore and Buffalo?
Baltimore is in Buffalo. This is Sunday Night Football. This is the marquee for the football heads, the marquee matchup of the weekend. You've got the Baltimore Ravens and the 2 years ago MVP against last year's MVP and Josh Allen. Buffalo is surprisingly a 1.5 point dog in this game. I think considering how good people expect Buffalo to be, Buffalo was a lot of people's Super Bowl pick. The fact that they're 1.5 point dog at home is surprising to the Ravens. Vegas really likes the Ravens here. Both of these teams are really good, and a lot of people would argue that both these teams got better in the offseason.
Yeah, and is it going to be close? Is it going to be 1.5 points close is the big question, right? That's kind of where we're at.
Right, and traditionally, the home team gets 3 points right off the bat. So if this game was played in a neutral field, the argument would be made that the Ravens may be favored there. So the fact that Buffalo is a home underdog is interesting. This is probably going to be close though, just because you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Those guys want to score a lot of points.
They do want to score a lot of points, and it is the return of soup season, but not quite yet in Buffalo. And the key to my success last year as a prognosticator with these bets, Steve, was to not always listen to the stats and the stories, but to listen to my bitter, bitter sense of vengeance. I cannot have Buffalo start the season in a good way. If I have any chance, a puncher's chance of the Dolphins getting anywhere in the AFC East this year. So we are manifesting a Baltimore win and a bigger win than expected, taking the Ravens.
Taking the Ravens. Okay, well, and when we talk about your Dolphins in the last game, I have a theory for you, but what I think is the key to success for the Dolphins, and it has nothing to do with how well they play this year. So we'll get to that after. But first, Ken, game 4.
Game 4. Sending this one out to our two of our competitors in our fantasy football league. We want to also shout out all of you. Steve putting that together. I had fun watching that draft back on the live stream on the Blathering backstage. I was making my picks, including my controversial number 5 pick, which was the Eagles defense. And I'm not even starting the Eagles defense this week. As I was walking in to meet Randall Cunningham, it was so much fun. We'll get into that, but Laserbolt and Lauren Romo, diehard Detroit Lion fans, pretty much pick nothing but Lions on their teams. And that is where we're going now. Detroit at Green Bay.
Detroit at Green Bay. We knew this one would be a popular pick with the fans. This is a huge game in the NFC North. Detroit was upset by Washington in the playoffs last year and to try to get to the NFC Championship game. The Packers, big offseason storylines, just acquiring Micah Parsons just this last week, and they're an ascending team, one of the youngest teams in the league. Jordan Love, people have high hopes for, and they went, they had their own good run last year. So no surprise there, I think, with the line. The Packers being favored at home week 1. The Lions had a bit of a brain drain with all their coaching after all that success we saw for the last 2 years. Their one coach is the head of the Jets now. The other coach is in Chicago. So people, a little bit of some unknown sauce going on in Detroit. So nothing too surprising about that line. Packers are a tough place to play.
It is. And last season, I rode the Lions most of the year, which sounds like you porn category, but it was me going with my heart. I do love Detroit. I was a big Barry Sanders fan. Billy Sims was there Tuesday night. I did not get to meet Billy Sims, though, the original number 20 in Detroit. I love the Lions. I love Dan Campbell. I like Mike McDaniel, but Dan Campbell was our interim coach. We could have had Dan. He could have changed the locker room. But I got bad news for my Detroiters, Steve. The city's got a history, and it ain't a great history. And I fear and smell regression this year in Detroit for no reason other than I just feel it in the wind, just like it's soup season coming back. I feel a regression in Detroit. Green Bay with their new defensive standout with his wonderful themed sweater he had on at a press conference. Micah Parsons, I am going Green Bay at home.
All right, to the heartbreak of many of the people in the chat, we're going with the Packers at home in week 1. Okay,
yep.
Ken.
Yep. Romo says
poor Lord
no. What? I just feel it. I just feel it. Sorry, Detroiters. All right, final pick. As we always do, as you can tell by my hat, lifelong Miami Dolphin fan has been decades of pain, suffering, misery, and apathy where I just kind of stopped watching for years. But I'm back, baby. And last season, it's a painful season in Miami. Let's face it, after a great 2023. Our final pick, as always, is a Miami Dolphin game. And we are starting the year, as a man who just barely threw a 16-yard pass on Sunday, or on Wednesday, and would only throw a 10-yard pass to no one on Sunday. Dolphins are going to Indianapolis. We got Daniel Jones starting at quarterback, right, for the Colts?
Yeah, Daniel Jones starting at quarterback. So that's, I mean, I would kind of put that in the pro column if I'm a Dolphins fan. So we'll see. Here's the thing: the Dolphins fans are looking at this like, oh, we should be able to win this game. Daniel Jones is starting at quarterback. We're in Indianapolis. They're not figuring. The Indianapolis fans are probably saying very similar, like, oh, the Dolphins are coming to town week 1. You know, Tua's built like a glass house. You know, blah blah blah. Tyreek's never happy. The defense, they got rid of. They don't have a single cornerback to play. You know, so. True. There are some things, you know, this is an interesting game, and I'd like that the line is so close just because who knows what the hell's going to happen here. This is, I mean, I would probably lean towards your Dolphins just because you have more weapons than the Colts do, and just Daniel Jones. You know, you got to feel bad if you're a Colts having taken that Anthony Richardson pick a couple years ago, because that didn't last long.
And he loses out to Joe Flacco and now Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not good.
What is your Dolphin theory? Is it before the pick or after the pick? What do you want?
So I'll give you the Dolphin theory before the pick, so in case it influences you, even though we know it won't. Ken, you need everyone that plays basically above, or pretty much any NFL team that would have been in the Confederacy. You need them to be really, really good this year, because you need to make sure that if the Dolphins don't win the division or anything, you need to not play in Buffalo when it's 10 degrees outside. You need to not play in Kansas City when it's 10 degrees outside.
Right.
Tua needs like 68 degrees, light breeze, you know, nice. Even if it's in the rain, okay, sure, whatever. But like, you don't want to go any further north in the playoffs this year than like Cincinnati. Okay. And even that's pushing it.
On to Cincinnati. Yeah. You're talking Dolphins can only get playoff wins below the Mason-Dixon line. This is what you're talking about.
Yes. Okay. This is the theory. Yeah.
It's true. Look, It becomes, I know to you, Steve, it probably becomes watching an old man like me grasp at justifications for picking the Dolphins. And I need look no further than Madden 26. I'm in my third season of the franchise already, but my first year of the franchise mode Madden 26, our pass defense, our pass rush, I should say, unstoppable. Zeeler, Chop Robinson, Chubb, Phillips, Kenneth Grant. They all had north of 11 sacks on my season in Madden franchise mode. I play every down. I don't sim it. And so that made me think, you know what? I think the humans are overlooking this defense. I know about the cornerbacks. I think the computers know what's up. I think this team is a little pissed, a little motivated, and they're quietly confident. They're bonded, as they're saying around the Dolphin camp. And I think we got a tough on the road. It's always tough on the road, especially for those little Dolphins when they swim out of their little water. But I'm taking the Dolphins. I'm even taking them by like 8 points.
Okay, wow. Well, we don't have to give them that many points, but that is still an impressive prediction there. Dolphins, no surprise. But yeah, I mean, hey, you're going with the robots. That's the thing that's surprising to me about that take, is you're trusting the robots.
Not necessarily trusting AI. I'm trusting the Madden programmers. The Madden
robots. Yeah.
The Madden robots. Yeah. And I just think, and I think our secret weapon, Devon Achane's a little hurt, nursing a little calf. Our secret weapon is Ollie Gordon III. I think he's going to score 1 touchdown, run for like 60 yards as a second spot running back. And is he on my fantasy team this year by accident? Because my auto pick kind of screwed me late in the draft. Yes. But I'm excited about that. Those are my picks. That's the NFL picks this week.